Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today I'm going to be bringing you a challenger laning guide on some of the most important parts of laning, which are the 4 key points here. Of course, there's more parts to laning, and if you want to see more stuff in the future, let me know and I'll try to give you even more tips on laning. But for now, these are the 4 main things, so I'll start talking about these 4 things, and then we'll get into some examples after that. Okay, so I'll go over some key points in laning. First, itemization is very important. Doing things like buying Bramble Vest versus a Fiora in order to stop her healing, or buying some magic resistance early on in lane if their jungler and top laner both deal magic damage. Secondly, learn the optimal trading pattern of your champion. For example, figuring out a way to deal the most damage with the order of your abilities. I'll show some examples of this later. Third, utilize your runes properly. Do things like trading when your bone plating is up, or trading frequently when you have a rune like Second Wind, or you're into a poke matchup. And fourth, jungle tracking and wave management. Doing things such as when your jungler is nearby, trying to freeze the lane or build up a wave to dive them, and when their jungler is probably close to you, then trying to keep the lane or the wave on your side of the map. So now let's get into some examples of these things. Okay, so I forgot to add this 5th thing. Basically, just bait out your enemy cooldowns. So then you want to trade with them. Basically, bait out whatever abilities they have, and then once their abilities are on cooldown and you have your abilities up, then you want to trade with them, which I'll have an example of in a Garen versus Jax matchup later on. Okay guys, so now I'm going to talk about trading patterns. I'm going to show you an example of a trading pattern with Vex. However, this works for any champion. You just need to figure out the best trading combo for them. So for Vex, I need to use my 3rd ability first to apply my passive to them, my 1st ability to then proc the passive and deal bonus damage, and lastly auto attack or W them, my 2nd ability being W, in order to get electrocute procced. And so basically what's important is just understanding how to get maximum damage here, and I'm going to show you a second how that looks like on Vex. But any champion, you just need to figure out what is the way to maximize my damage, whether it's utilization of passives, runes, etc. So in here in just a sec, you're going to see what I do here, so we'll just wait for that. You see I E him, I 1st ability, then I auto to get electrocute procced, and then I use my W because I get close enough to him. So you just need to make sure that you can figure out the maximum damage combo with whatever champion it is you're using in lane in order to obviously just like maximize your damage. And now I'm going to show you a similar thing with Diana so you can understand it from another champion's point of view. Okay, so next I'm going to show you Diana's example, which is using your 1st ability to apply the Moonlight to people, using your dash to dash onto them, then clicking your 2nd ability to get a shield, and then dashing back to the minion you applied Moonlight to. So you can see here, I apply Moonlight, dash, W, then back off, and I still have my dash reset because I applied Moonlight. Again, it's not important to understand specifically how Diana works here. All I'm trying to show you is you need to figure out the most efficient way to trade. I do it again there, exact same thing, and I end up killing him using that exact same combo that I used. Very important understanding whatever way you can maximize damage with your champion. Unfortunately, it looks like Kha'Zix does gank me here. I actually survive it. Pretty good. So yeah, again, just make sure that you understand best way to maximize damage with your champion. That's an example of Vex and Diana. And now let's get into some more examples. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about rune choices, and the 1, 2, and 4th rune slots are usually based more on champion, but the defensive rune slot is based very much on your opponents, so this is pretty universally good for any laning. So bone plating you want to typically use against champions like Renekton or Zed that have really good combo damage that they're going to do against you. So for example, Renekton dashing in on you and stunning you, that's an example of a lot of burst damage in a combo. Nullifying Orb is great when you're a squishy champion and you expect them to all in you. Stuff like an Akali against an Akali or against a Zed who you think at level 5 might be able to try to burst you down. The Nullifying Orb is going to make them not expect you to have that little extra HP and might allow you to survive those all-ins around level 5 when they get their ultimate. Second Wind is great in the matchups such as Teemo or Fiora, champions that will poke you down frequently and take many short trades with you because it'll allow you to heal up some of their poke that they get on you. And then if you're not really worried about the lane phase and you're more worried about later team fights getting CC'd and such, you can go something like Hunter Titan in that defensive rune slot instead. So those are just some examples of the best defensive runes and when to go them in different lane matchups. Let's get into the rest of the video. Alright guys, so this first clip is going to be focusing on rune usage early on in lane. So the 2 runes I'm going to be talking about using here are Grasp and Bone Plating. And so Grasp, basically for every 3 seconds that you're in combat, whether that's fighting a minion or fighting a person, your next attack will be enhanced, healing you and dealing damage. This is very important because you want to keep it once you're at after 3 seconds of being in combat. You need to stay in combat long enough by hitting minions until you can actually hit a person. And so you're going to see here, I'll show you pretty early on here, I'm going to hit someone already, which means that I'm in combat now. And now you can see in the bottom, the middle right in the bottom, you can kind of see whenever that grasp thing is green, it means that I'm able to hit someone and deal bonus damage. Whenever it's grayed out, it means that I'm not actually able to deal the bonus damage yet. So you can see I'm keeping it green by hitting the minions, and then whenever I can, I'm trying to go on him and deal damage to him when it's green. And so this works if I'm in combat in any way, whether that's fighting them or you know, taking damage from them. And so again, you'll see here, I'm going to go in on him, I'm going to trade, and now my grasp is up, so I'm going to keep trading because I can get the bonus Q on my grasp, and that's going to just make me deal a lot of damage. Now additionally, bone plating basically makes it so you take less damage from the next 3 abilities or attacks dealt against you, and it's every 30 seconds that it does this. So you can see in, again, the bottom middle there, that's my bone plating cooldown, and once that goes away, once I don't see it on my screen anymore, I know my bone plating's back up and I can trade with people again. So I'm trying to trade as often as possible when my bone plating's up or when my grasp is up. So here my grasp is up and my bone plating's up, so I'm going in and I know that there's no way he can kill me because of the runes that I have and because of the fact that they're up right now. Again, my grasp is up, so I'm trying to force a fight on him if I can. I'm keeping my grasp up by hitting minions every so often. I'm waiting for the timer to go close to 0, and then I'm hitting a minion. I actually don't hit it here. That was a mistake. But I still end up going in because I played around my rune cooldowns earlier, and I get the kill. So basically, just playing around when your runes are up is a great way to trade with people, rather than just simply trading whenever you see an opportunity, because those are actually going to make you deal much more damage and take less damage. So now let's get into the next clip. Okay, so in this next clip, I'm going to be showing you 2 main things. The first is trading when their abilities are on cooldown, and the second is going to be paying attention to your jungle to help with your wave management. So initially here I see a Jax, obviously, that I'm against in the lane, and I know he has 2 main sources of damage, which are his second ability and his third ability. His third ability being the one that blocks damage and then deals damage to you based on how much damage you deal to him, and his second ability being his auto attack, his empowered auto attack. And so here I bait out his first ability, or his third ability, and so now that that ability is baited out, I know that I want to try to trade with him. However, he hits level 2 before me, so I can't do that. Instead, I'm going to keep the wave on my side of the map so that he has to come into me to trade rather than me going into him. It makes me safer to a potential gank and stuff like that. So now I see that, I can see by the indication there that he used his second ability, which is again one of his 2 sources of damage. So I know I can go in, I can bait out his third ability, and then I can win the trade just because I know that I have both of my sources of damage up where he only has 1. Now I even messed that up a little bit and used my Q into his third ability, but again, now that I know his third ability is on cooldown, I'm trading with him again with my Q. So I'm just trading as much as possible when I know that his abilities are off cooldown. Now again, I have level 3 before he does, so using my level advantage, I want to again try to force a trade just because I'm up a level, which means I have an extra ability. I use my second ability to reduce the CC, and I win another trade because I have an extra ability. Basically, all this lane is about is really just tracking his ability cooldowns and trying to play around that. And now I see now that my jungler is on my side of the map, and so I'm trying to build up a wave as big as possible because I know that the Jax is somewhat low and we might be able to dive him here. So instead of just shoving this wave in, which is my other option, which I would do if their jungler was near, I instead just try to keep this wave as big as possible so that the Jax can't trade into me because the minions will all damage him, and then my jungler can potentially gank here because there's such a big wave that under the tower it'll be very easy. However, we just end up getting the kill. So the main thing there is when your jungler is on your side of the map, you want to try to build up a bigger wave, or you want to try to keep the wave frozen, and then when their jungler is on your side of the map and yours is not here, then that would be more when you would want to try to play safer and potentially get the minion wave under their tower as fast as possible so that it can reset at an equal state in your lane. Okay guys, so I'm going to talk just simply about paying attention to your jungler again in this situation. So here I can notice that my jungler is pathing to the opposite side of the map that I'm not on. And when your jungler is on the opposite side of the map, you should just assume that their jungler is going to be nearby and try to gank you. And so you don't want to trade too aggressively. Unfortunately, my thresh goes further up than I would like, but I'm still sitting back and only trading when I have to. I'm not trying to lose HP here because I want high HP in case that their jungler is here. When you want to try to force fights is when your jungler is nearby you and you want to just not force fights and stay at a high HP. Even if it looks like a good trade, you don't want to take the trade if your jungler is nowhere nearby because it's likely you'll get ganked and you'll be lower and then more likely to die. Now I notice their jungler is on the opposite side of the map, so I know it's just a simple 2v2 here. But because we're currently a bit lower, I'm only going to trade with simple poke like that. I'm simply trying to poke them down while maintaining my HP until my jungler ends up coming. Now I see a ping from my jungler. I see that he's coming to my side of the map trying to fight for the scuttle. And so as quickly as possible, I want to kill these minions so that I'm in a position to possibly trade with the enemy. And as soon as I can, I'm going to look to force a fight because I know that I'm going to have the numbers advantage. I see their jungler is coming as well, but I see that my team kind of has the jump on them. And so I'm just going to force a fight because, I know my jungler is coming. This is very important, forcing fights whenever your jungler is nearby. I'm going to dash in aggressively because I know that they're going to have to keep running back. I'm just going to keep poking them down, trying to get damage on them, get a couple autos off, and we're going to kill the Zeri. Very important there, just playing safe when your jungler is not nearby, and when your jungler is nearby, then you start forcing aggressive trades, even if they're not necessarily the optimal trades, because you're going to have your jungler there to help you out. So now let's get into the rest of the video. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I just wanted to give a quick update on kind of what my channel is about. So first, thank you all. My channel recently has popped off. I've gotten way more views, way more subscribers than normal, which I think is awesome. Weekly I'm going to continue making videos just like I have been recently, just different guides on different stuff. I'm going to be trying to get challenger on mid lane. I'm currently at master with that. I grind that on Twitch every day. You know, that Twitch link in the description if you do want to find out and follow my Twitch, where I stream me playing that. I just wanted to say thank you though. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna keep making videos like this. My main focus is not the quality of the thumbnails or the editing or stuff like that, because I spend a lot of my time on Twitch, so I don't have enough time to focus on all of that stuff. But what I really do care about is just giving you guys content which provides good information to you to try to make you a better player. So if you're interested in trying to become a better player, please follow my or subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would help me out and it would be cool. You know, of course, if you do want more guides like this in the future, let me know whatever types of guides you guys want. And if you want to follow my Twitch, you can. If you want to see me more playing live, me maybe raging every now and again, you know, me talking about, you could ask me more specific questions. I could give you tips on whatever. You could just watch gameplay, chill, do whatever you want. I just really appreciate you guys though. Thank you. I'm definitely going to continue making videos weekly, and potentially during the summer I'll make them more often. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I really do appreciate you, and I'll see you all later.